There are so many different ways artists simplify the torso and hips, and there are disagreements over what method is the best. Some use boxes, some use ovals and spheres, and some use a blend between the two. To find the best shape, we should take a look at the human skeleton. An oval seems just a bit too round to fit the ribcage, and a box doesn't seem round enough. What I think fits best here is a combination of the two, a rounded box. This box should be slightly taller than it is wide, and maybe a slight bit wider on the bottom. Also, it helps to add this upside down U shape to the front of this round box to show more of the ribcage form. Also, it helps you remember which side is the front. Now, let's take a look at the hips. Once again, a sphere seems too round to accurately portray this shape, and a box could work, but wouldn't quite capture it either. One way I've seen hips simplified is with these two dinner plate shapes that point up and outward. We could also use a rounded cube with a V shape in the front, or a combination of the two, which may look like this, essentially just the shape of a diaper. So now that we have a shape for both the upper body and hips, we can try to draw both at different angles. Here are some I did that you might like to copy for practice. Since we've already figured out what these shapes are, recreating them at different angles is relatively easy. Now we can combine these two shapes for a complete torso. It's important to understand that if these shapes aren't at interesting angles, the resulting pose will be stiff. Drawing the ribcage and torso facing different directions and at different angles is the foundation of creating a dynamic pose. Often, people will think the arms and legs are what make a pose interesting and dynamic, and that's part of it, but I would argue that the torso and hips are by far the most important part of a good pose. The next step is to connect these two shapes with the spine. Never draw a back or spine as a flat straight line, because in reality they are quite curvy. The curve goes inward between our two shapes. Then you can bring in some flesh connecting the sides of the shapes with two curved lines. If the body is twisting, this may be shown with an overlap like this. The next steps you could take is sticking on these wing shapes for shoulders, connecting the two with the chest shape, maybe attaching arms or neck, or just creating a full figure. I'll be sure to do some more anatomy videos, but if you don't want to wait for new ones, you can find tips on drawing arms, legs, necks, and more in this playlist. Thanks for watching!